to keep going.
I am not a witch, but my mother was one. She died at their hand because she went against the Lord our God and danced with the devil in the moonlight. Some even say she wed him, and I am the result of their encounter. Devilkin. The judge took pity on me. He had no strength to kill a newborn, but that title sat fittingly. For everywhere I went, it seemed like the devil followed. The famine, the plague, the witches fighting back. The death toll seemed to rise after I was born, and I doubt it will stop until I am in the ground. A devilkin has one purpose, the judge told me: to consume the sins of the dead, to absolve them of their wickedness so they may join our Lord in heaven. Yet because I am filled with sin, I will never see that light. I feel no fear as I put pen to paper to write this down. I have no Lord to impress. I must carry on until I die and am thrust into the fiery pits of hell. Maybe you are a devilkin too, shunned by your village, forced to carry the sins of the community. Maybe we are the same bloodline. Maybe we are complete strangers. But I hope you take time to know me, for no one else will. I am Bloody Mary the Devilkin, the child that killed her mother, killed the crops, infected the village, and eventually killed her own protector. Look away as she stalks to the well, as she does her chores, as she attempts to say her prayers. She carries the sin of the incorrect parentage and will never be seen as part of the good and holy. Mark her house with a simple upside-down cross to signify her twisted spirit to all who walk by. Then, bring her out to consume the sins of the dead so they may move on. They killed the judge's wife, the woman who swore up and down she would never be my mother. And now I must help her enter the kingdom of heaven so she may reunite with her lover. They called her a witch and drowned her in the river to prove her innocence. If she floats, she is a witch. If she drowns, she is not. The last thing she told us was, "You'll regret all of this. Your souls will never find rest." I think her curse placed fear into the townsfolk. They killed an innocent woman for naught, and now they have me consuming her sins so she can find peace. The bloated body lays out in front of me. Wet and blue, she barely looks like herself. The priest nods. I get to work. I have the rare privilege of knowing the priest's way of sanctifying a body. Oil on the wrists and feet, holy water sprinkled across the skin, touched with care, like a cook preparing meat for consumption. Et offero a te peccatum, ut Domino nostro et Salvatore e Regno calorium in grace, consumam inquitam tuam, necitam tuam, ut cum Domino eterum in Greece, et pro eo patiar. It rolls off the tongue nicely, as if this is my one and true purpose. I return to a small table with a chair. I must face the body as I eat, a reminder of what I am doing to help them. To look away as I consume their sins is shameful, and I cannot have any shame. The priest returns the wooden plate. On top, a piece of Banbury cake, piled high with icing sugar, butter and fruit oozing from the pastry. It looks as if it may burst. Water is not provided, as there is no comfort or relief for a sin eater. You must eat the meal in front of you, but derive no pleasure from it, no matter how delicious it may be. The first bite is sweet, but the sugar touches a cracked molar and I let out a sharp breath. Ironic how every bite will have some form of pain to it. I can't even attempt to enjoy the cake. I will suffer until the piece is finished. I have a mountain of work ahead of me as the pastry is thick and large, comically indulgent with enough powdered sugar to sweeten tea for a year. Sugar, especially in desserts, is seen as frivolous. It is not a necessity, it is indulgent and borderline gluttonous. The pastry is flaky, signifying the copious use of butter when that could have fed someone other than me. And the minced fruit, raisins, and other dried sweets, all indulgences piled on top of each other to make a meal so cloying it can only serve as a way to flaunt one's access to indulgence. I wonder what it means as I stare at the body taking another bite. Was the judge's wife an indulgent woman? Did she take in too many earthly goods, forgetting that the true pleasures will come from the heavenly kingdom? Did she make a dress too flashy, a meal too fattening, a conversation too gossipy? She was expected to lead by virtue, and to my knowledge she did. For 18 years I watched her obey God's laws and hold herself as an upstanding woman of the town. Another bite. A raisin lodges itself in the crack and I yelp. She was not a kind woman, but she was a good one, according to the priest. And yet she was accused of witchcraft. She was not the first good woman accused, and she will not be the last. Sarah Keller accused the judge's wife of cursing her baby. No one took it seriously until the poor infant died. That was enough to rile the village against her. With her husband gone, there was no one to defend her. And here I sit, eating the gluttonous sugar, my stomach growing as she lays in front of me, dead. Being good got her nowhere. Following God at what cost? What happens when the sheep turn on one another when the shepherd has his back turned? Another bite, and I sink my teeth into raw dough. I almost gag. The Sin Eater has humors to balance, and everything is fighting itself. The overly sweet fruit, the raw dough in the middle, the sugar coating my cracked teeth, it's a manifestation of the turmoil within me. I wonder if I could have saved her. If I had spoken, if I had toed the line, would she be dead in front of me? I cannot let these thoughts dwell in my mind. I must keep consuming until there is nothing left. I shut my eyes and swallow the raw dough. I feel it slide into my stomach and sit side by side with my guilt. Was her sin being a woman? Was it just existing on the wrong day of the year? Was it aging into crone-like features? Will I be next bloated body on display for some other devilkin to consume my many sins? They must prepare a feast for whoever that may be, as I have too much sin within me from my lineage. From the sin I have consumed, it might kill the next Sin Eater. Another bite of raw dough. I have little more to go. The last bit of the Banbury Cake stares at me, as if it's daring me to stop. As if the heavy guilt I carry will stop me from finishing what I was born to do. The final bite slides down my throat and I gag. I can feel it coming back up, but I cannot allow for that. I grip the sides of the table, praying to God that I can finish the job and move on with my forsaken life. A pause as I wait for him to answer, and thankfully he does. My mind is swimming and I feel sick. I stumble to the body and whisper a final prayer before planting a kiss on the corpse's waxy forehead. Maybe she will find peace in the next life. Hopefully enough for both of us. Walking out of the room is a difficult task. I knock on the door to let the priest know I am finished. He will then take the body and give it proper Christian burial. I will not be invited. I will watch from afar as the judge's wife is planted into the ground. The priest does not make eye contact with me. When I leave the church, no one in the street will either. I am a horrid thing they must face as they move about their day, as if I am worse than the fact they killed an innocent woman. I am the Sin Eater because I was born despised and sinful. Any one of them could have been me if they were born into a different station with different parentage. They see something they could be, an outcast on the fringes of society. A girl, cursed to live a bloody existence. They could accuse her of witchcraft and drown her like the others. But then who would consume the sins? You get to turn these pages over and return to whatever life you live. I will continue to eat and suffer with the hope that someone will hear me for the first time.